What's up, everyday people? How you doing? I'm Chad Bruckner. Welcome back to another episode of Everyday People. Today, I'm going to be interviewing Greg Bassett, and we're going to honor Greg big time. Greg is my mentor for the blood cancer campaign, and he's been an incredible guy for helping me out through this. And Greg is a survivor, a leukemia survivor, and he's going to tell us the why and the how and the what and all that stuff, and specifically what this journey of blood cancer has been like for him and getting over leukemia with his family and a career, and why he stays involved and how he survived and what gave him that grit and fight. We're going to talk about it all. It's a great interview. I hope you enjoy it. This is Everyday People. Greg Bassett, what's up, buddy? How you doing,
Hey,
brother?
bud, how's it going, Chad?
How's everything going?
Good. Glad we could get together.
Dude, it's so good to be on the call here. And what people don't realize is we're halfway through the campaign, and
Okay.
you're a mentor for me. That's somebody that has walked through this fire, not only fundraising for blood cancer, but you've been through it, brother. You've been through the battle. And
Yeah.
man, would you mind sharing a little bit about, your story and where you're from and what you've been through?
Yeah. So I'm here from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, all my life. Um, got involved with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society because of the fact that I was diagnosed back in 2015 with leukemia, and had a friend that ran for this campaign when it was Man and Woman of the Year, and he won and invited me to the grand finale back in, I'm going to say, I think it was 2019. He invited me and my son to go down and took a look at it. It was a great time, a great evening out there to see the money being fundraised for a great cause. And my son said to me on the way home, "Dad, how do we get involved with this?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "We'll check into it and see where we got to go from there." And he pursued into that. And next thing you know, I was involved fully with the campaign.
Wow.
And unfortunately, I got in the campaign in 2020, and unfortunately, the pandemic hit us, and really put a kibosh to a lot of stuff that we wanted to do. Couldn't do nothing because of the pandemic. Everything was shut down. I was really disappointed, but we knew we had to do something because unfortunately, pandemic shut things down, but cancer doesn't get shut down for a pandemic. Keeps going, and we needed to do whatever we could to fundraise, and we did whatever we could, and we had a successful campaign. Unfortunately, it wasn't where I wanted to be, but every dollar counts. Didn't matter, but I really wanted to get a research grant in my name, just because I wanted to be able to say, hey, we did something for people. From what I went through, I don't want to see anybody else go through. And about halfway through the campaign, they asked for nominations for the following year for 2021. With no hesitation, I said I would go again, and got into it again and had a great time. We're able to do a lot of stuff out there this time, though.
Wow. So walk us through your diagnosis. What was that like for you, and what was that like telling your family?
Well, it was a life changing event. Um, Came home from work the week prior with some bruising. Didn't know where it was coming from. Left it go, just kept an eye on it. Um, Had a bloody nose late that week. Took a while to stop because unfortunately there was a problem happening in my system that I wasn't aware of yet. Um, Weekend came, went, had a good weekend, just like a normal person would. Monday went to work, came home, had some more bruising. Well, this was an eye opener. Waited for my wife to get home for middle shift at work. And I said to her, I said, do whatever you got to do. I said, but when you're ready, I want to go to the hospital. I want to see what's happening. There was too many things going on at the time, and it was like I knew there was something wrong. But so we went over to the hospital, over St. Luke's in Bethlehem, and went in, and basically they looked at me and said, "We're going to pull blood work right away and see what's happening." Excuse me. So they pulled blood work, and I said, "Well, how long is that going to take?" Well, going to the hospital, you never know. They said probably about an hour or so. So we went over to the hospital about 1 o'clock in the morning. By 3:30 in the morning, we had some kind of answer. It was one of two things. They said one was leukemia and one was something else, because once they said the word leukemia, it was like taking the garage door and letting the springs break loose and the door goes slamming down. You have no idea what's happening. So they suggested me to stay in the hospital and wait to see an oncologist, a hematologist, an oncologist, or I could go home. Um, but I thought right away, let's stay. We're here already. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. A few more hours, the doctors will be coming in, doing their rounds. And if you go home, what's the chances of seeing the doctor right away? Where am I? Where am I with this whole situation? Is it good? Is it bad? Let's. So I decided to stay. I'm going to say by 8 o'clock in the morning, I saw a doctor. And he came in and told me the bad news. But he did say one good thing was the leukemia that I had was curable. So that was a plus. Bad thing was I had leukemia. Where do you go? What do you do? I'm like puzzled. I think going back, I remember looking at the four walls, staring at them. My wife was there. She called my mom. She came over right away. We're all like, I don't even know what to say, dazed, I guess. What direction do we go? And shortly after, the doctor was talking to me. He goes, "Well, you're going to be here for 3 weeks." Wait, 3 weeks? I got a job. I got a family. Well, unfortunately, when doc tells you that, you don't have a choice. You got to stay and you got to fight and get better so that you can get back out there and live your normal life. So that's what we ended up, doing.
What what's that like when you said you were staring at the four walls and you're thinking about what you're going to do next and how's that going to be? I haven't been in a situation like that, so I'm trying to feel like what that would be like. But it are you thinking about the future at all? Or are you just thinking about the here and now? Like
Huh.
what
Yeah.
process?
Going back, I guess you really don't really know. I mean, just to hear the word leukemia, I guess, really thinking about it, I learn more about it now as time has gone on. Did I really know at that moment what it really was? I don't know. I still wonder that today. If, at that point in time when the doctor came in, I knew it was something that was bad, wasn't something you want to hear. So, just staring at the walls, it's like, your life changes in the blink of the blink of an eye. It's just real quick. It's like turn light switch on and off real quick. Life changed. It's like, all right, now what do I do? I can't go to work. I have a family. I have bills coming in. But the main thing was I got to get better. I got to do whatever the doc says, and we got to do it, and do it as fast as possible, but at the rate that I'm going to get cured. And there's days, I wondered, I guess I think about it sometimes, like what's going to happen. Am I going to get cured? And you gotta stay focused and stay positive. That's the major thing. I mean, I had a great support team behind me, great family, friends. Just got to keep positive, and there's going to be days that are down. There's days that are going to be up. I mean, sometimes there was more days down than up, but you just got to keep focused and keep moving forward and doing what the doc says. And that was the main thing, just staying focused. And I know there was times that it was hard. I mean, like I said, I got admitted into St. Luke's Hospital, and one of the doctors in the group a couple days later came in to see me in the hospital, and he suggested me to go to Fox Chase. Now I was diagnosed on a Tuesday. He came in on Thursday to me and suggested me going to Fox Chase. Well, this was only 2 days ago I got diagnosed. What do I do? And I just thought, well, it's Fox Chase. I heard of them, and it's a better hospital probably, or maybe not. I don't really know, but they specialize in what I have in cancers and stuff. So I thought, all right. I looked at my wife and I said, let's go. And so they transported me down from St. Luke's to Fox Chase because they're tied together. And I went down there for about 18 days. Got released a little bit too early. Went back into the hospital when I got home less than 12 hours later. Um, Came back in, saw my doc right away. He put me right back in the hospital. Saw another doctor in the group on the following day, and the guy was great. He asked me what was going on, wanted to know some history about me, and he just said, "Hey," he gave me this plan with it was like a 20-day window. He goes, "Give me 3 days, and I'll have you eating again." One of the side effects I had was because of the chemo. It made it hard for me to swallow. I guess did something to the esophagus, all that chemo, but he got me to eat again within like 3 days. The guy was on the money. By day 10, he had me at wherever he told me I was going to be. He had me there. And by day 20, the guy was basically spot on. If it was a day or two later, big deal at that point. He got me where I need to be. And, they got me back uh, into remission. It was from June of 2015 till about beginning of March of 16. It took me for my treatments. It was 4 weeks on of chemo, 4 weeks off. I took chemo pills that were every 2 weeks, taking them for 2 weeks, taking then off for 2 weeks. So I had a schedule, I had a calendar because I said to my nurses, I said, "There's no way I'm going to remember all this." They said, and they gave me a calendar, and we marked it all up every month, and it was good to go because you think about it, all you're thinking about is getting better, but the best way to get better is to take your meds, and do what the doctor says and basically stay positive. And like I said, I had so many people supporting me. And, unfortunately at that time, I really didn't know nothing really about the Leukemia Society, and which I wish I would have then. And I guess it was like late summer. Well, it wouldn't have been late, almost fall time when they had the Light the Night walk for Leukemia Society. My daughter signed us up for that, and we walked that night. That's when I got basically introduced to Leukemia Society. And then from there on out, it just every year we try to walk if we can. This past year we didn't get to. Unfortunately, something was happening at the same time that we couldn't be there two places at once. But we try to do that and try to do whatever we can to be supportive of the Leukemia Society and try to get it out there to people and let them know about it, that there's help out there for them.
What does LLNS mean to you? I mean, like the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. Obviously, you have this personal experience that so personal to you, but then you get involved twice and you start fundraising for them with all those layers of experience in your life. I mean, what do they mean to you? What does this organization mean to you?
Means a lot. I mean, it's a great cause. They're out there to help people, and they keep the money that's raised right here in Lehigh Valley, for patients, and get the money out there for research. And it's great. It's the ultimate thing out of this whole thing is one day to hopefully have the cure for all blood cancers, let alone any kind of cancer. Don't want to see anybody go through it. There's one word for it. I hate to say it, but it sucks. And to hear that word, cancer, leukemia, it's not a good word. It's you don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Well, what would you say to somebody they're watching this and they're watching your story and they're thinking, well, I don't have that much money to give. I only have $5 or $10.
It does,
What
yeah, it doesn't matter what somebody gives. If you can give $1, or some little kid wants to give 50 cents, it's great. I mean, when I raised money, I got I had little sponsors or I should say, little donors to big donors. I had some, corporations that, sponsored me, and different places that we were able to raise money. But every dollar counts. Since I was diagnosed, I knew I needed to give back somehow. And unfortunately, with the pandemic, I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do as I had in the past. Is I try to have a blood drive at least once a year. And since the pandemic, I haven't. And I tried doing it like last year, but unfortunately, like everybody else, companies don't have the manpower to do everything at the time. I do want to reach out to them again. Usually I do it like in September, October, somewhere around there, or November. I try to do it every year. They weren't unable to do it the past year or so. So I want to reach out again this year to get them. But I look at it this way: if I run a blood drive and I try to get like a block of, like, I think it's like 40 people. If I get two people, I did my job. because those two people now have saved other people's lives. And that's and one of the reasons I'm telling you about a blood drive that I always try to have every year is when I was in Fox Chase, I had about 18 blood transfusions and platelets and all that. So you don't realize how much blood is needed for a blood cancer patient, that they lose blood and they need to get that put back in them so that they can get better. So, I look at it that way. With a donation, it doesn't matter how big or how small it is. Every dollar counts to help get closer to saving somebody's life and put an end to cancer.
Greg, phenomenal. What do you say to the medical staff at Fox Chase and St. Luke's, the people that were there with you in 15 and 16 and ongoing? What message you have for them for helping you and taking care of you through all that?
Um, can't thank them enough. I mean, the doctors, the nurses. I'll tell you what, those the ladies that I had when I came back here to St. Luke's Hospital, a bunch of them I'm friends with on Facebook, and if I'm in the hospital for blood work that I get done like once a year, or if I'm in there to see somebody or something at the hospital, a lot of times I'll stop by the infusion center and stop in. Unfortunately, during the pandemic, I was unable to do that because of the restrictions. Um, but when I can, I try to. Those ladies that work in that infusion center are amazing. I mean, they see it all. They see the good, they see the bad. I mean, there was bad days. Like the first time I went in the infusion center at St. Luke's was a bad experience. It was when I got put back in the hospital. But then after that, and I came out of the hospital for the final time as a patient in the hospital. When I went back into the infusion center, it was getting better and getting better. Every time I went in, I was getting better and stronger. It takes a while, but unfortunately, you got to work through it, and you got to be a little bit patient. Like I said, you got to keep that positive attitude, and if you got that support team behind you, you got it. You know what I mean? Everybody's cancer or leukemia or whatever they have is going to be different. No two are alike, or no two people are alike. So you just got to keep that positive attitude, and like I said, those doctors and nurses, they're great. I mean, each and every one of them they're there for a reason. And I can't thank them enough. I'm here today to talk about it. I
That's
think, I look back and I think, what happens if I would have said, I got bruising, no big deal, left it go. I had a bloody nose that week before, left it go. It stopped. Maybe, maybe if I would have waited another week or 2 weeks, me and you wouldn't be talking today. And then, like one other point I guess I'm forgetting too is I remember there was one day down at Fox Chase. I was having a bad time down there first, and it must have been a really bad day. I mean, some of it down there I don't remember, which is probably a good thing. But I remember one day thinking about it, I wanted to give up. I wanted to just give up. I had enough. But something in the back of the head said, hold on a second. You have a family. I have a wife. I have a daughter that just graduated high school, is going to college. I have a son that's in high school, and I have a little daughter that's not even in kindergarten yet. We have a family. I can't leave yet. I can't check out. I need to fight this and not give up. If I give up, it's not good. So I look forward, and from that day on I never gave up.
Hmm. Wow.
But there's always going to be that time where you don't
So,
know.
so
You get
Greg,
oh,
you're a positive guy, man. I love it. I hear it. I work hard to be positive. Piggybacking on what you just said, somebody's watching this right now who's down on their luck with blood cancer, or maybe
yeah.
just down with anything in life. What positive message would you give anybody that's down on their luck right now that they think it's over, they can't come back, and
No. Don't
circumstance?
don't don't give up. Don't give up. I mean, everybody has a different way of dealing with life. Everybody has a different, motive or whatever. And I mean, I know not everybody's religious. I mean, I am to a point. I don't go to church every week. I try to get there as much as possible. But I got to say one thing: God was with me at that time. I mean, He got me through it. He helped me, and He helped my family. I know there's a lot of people that are praying all the time. So it's a good thing, you know what I mean? It's we got to get out there, and you gotta stay positive. If you believe in God, pray to God. Whatever way you need to do it, do it. Stay strong.
All the bad times, they don't last forever. We think that they're going to last forever, but
Yep.
they're fleeting. They bad, it will turn. It will become good again. It
Yeah.
will.
Well, like I always told people too. I said, I don't know if you remember Bugs Bunny, but years ago there was a cartoon part with Bugs Bunny and the turtle, and the turtle always, I think it was the turtle always said, "Slow and steady wins the race." Well, that's my motto. It was my motto. Slow and steady wins the race. You're not going to get better overnight. It's going to take a little bit. It's going to take a little bit of not feeling well or being in some pain or whatever, but you're going to get through it. Just got to stay strong. I mean, I always tell people stay positive and stay strong.
As a spiritual person, when you said God was with you, man, it gave me chills, and it really. I'm going to think about that when we hang up because of I've never experienced what you experienced. So, but I've experienced God work in my life to keep me safe, and I
Yep.
can only imagine when He's there with you in that moment with cancer, how
Yeah.
devastating, but how powerful His support is in that moment. Unbelievable.
Yeah. He got it through. I mean, wasn't my turn yet. It was. We needed to keep moving forward, and that's how I look at it. I mean, now I look at life different than the guy next to me or anybody. I mean, tomorrow's not promised. So you got to stay positive. You got to stay, strong, and you'll get through it. It's all good. I guess everything's meant for a reason. I always say, I was involved with the swim club and I was involved with a lot of stuff at the time. And I think it was maybe the message was that had happened to me was to say, hey, how about slowing down a little bit? I don't know. That's something I always thought about once in a while. Was it true? I don't know.
That makes sense. Hey, and you were self aware enough to listen to that, which I
Yeah,
love.
yeah. No, you are, and it's like I said, the biggest thing was I had a family. You know, had something to look forward to and keep moving forward.
And you're here, brother. You are
That's
here.
it.
Oh, dude,
So,
much for doing this. This is 20 some minutes of goodness that I hope people watch
yep,
later and listen to your story and celebrate you for how optimistic and positive you are. Amazing,
yep,
but also open up their pocketbooks, their wallets, whatever they can do, and give a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
That's
Anybody out there, I appreciate you listening to our story here today, and hopefully all you guys can help out Chad here with a donation, no matter how big or small it is. Every dollar counts, and we want to see Chad succeed his goal, and hopefully he does. And all your money is going to a good cause, and hopefully one of these days we're going to find the cure to blood cancers.
that's the dream. Greg, thank you, brother. Be
Okay,
well. We'll talk again soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great day.